Hey everybody, welcome to Mammoth Interactive's YouTube channel. First of all, I want to thank you for watching this video. And remember that this channel doesn't do Patreon. Instead, we sell our digital courses down below. And every single dollar that we get from the products you buy below goes into making more content. The best way to help out this channel and Mammoth Interactive is to subscribe to Mammoth Interactive's huge library of content. Get thousands of hours and hundreds of courses for a low price down below. We have a monthly option and a yearly option. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you in the video.
Hi, and welcome to Excel Functions Mastery course. I'm Mihai, and we have 8 sections as follows. First, we'll talk about some general details regarding Excel. Then, from section 2 to section 7, we will have in detail, let's say, the most important functions that are in our course. Then we will make in section 8 a summary about what we learned. Now, in section 2, we will start with some if functions, and also we'll go in detail for Vlookup functions and functions like choose, index, or match, and or functions within reference functions. Each section will have what we learned in this section, the first video, and we'll finish with section summary. Then we'll talk about math and finance functions, starting with how to aggregate data using sum or subtotal functions. Also, we'll see some conditional formatting in order to calculate minimums, maximums, and average for data sets. Then we'll go to some finance functions. Let's say in terms of management, we'll try to use some forecast in order to predict some sales or to see some trend for different figures. And also we will calculate a net present value, which is a very good function for those who want to see if it's okay to invest in some business or just put the money in the bank. Then we will go on date and time functions projects. And here we will learn how to manipulate some Excel date and how to build a holiday date calendar. We will take some holidays and we want to see exactly in the next years and what day of the week it will be. So, starting with section 5, we will have the details regarding how to split some text from a given column and put them in mini columns, named text-to-column functions. Also, we will try to replace some portions of textual data, meaning that we will extract a part from a word or a figure or a number, and we will try to put it in another cell. And also how to concatenate. That is how to put contextual data back together. Then we'll try to deal with the main list of errors from Excel, which is a very important thing, because when we are working with many data, let's say we have a database and we want to make some reports, some charts, and for us, it's normal when you work with many functions. You can go in the wrong direction, and Excel will return some errors. And for us, it's important to know how to deal with these errors and how to resolve the issues. Now, in the final part of section 5, we will try to create a nav menu inside an Excel worksheet. That means we will use the Hyperlink Function in order to be easier to navigate from one sheet to another. or just click on the cell and go to a browser and open a web page. Or we can go directly to a given cell in another sheet. So this is the Hyperlink function, and it is very useful when you have some nav menus on Excel, and you can go just by clicking on a cell, and you will go to where you need to in the sheet. Then Section 6 is the Excel list, where we will learn how to filter items in a big list, how to sort them, and we will try to sort without messing up the data, meaning that if we have many columns, we will sort a column, but we will not mess up the row order or the columns, so it's important for us to complete this task. Then we will see how to freeze a given number of rows or columns, depending on your needs, and those are always very important. But we will learn how to remove duplicates in a given list. In Section 7, we will learn about other Excel useful functions, starting with count, count-a, count-if functions, the difference between them. For example, count will be based on number of cells. Count A will count any argument, any text in a cell. And count if will return a number by giving criteria. Then a very important option that Excel gives us is to create a drop-down list. And this option will be used, in our case, for an inventory. You will see that it is very useful when you want to create a reception document and you will avoid writing manually any product. You will just choose it from a list. Then, after that, we will work with IsNumber and search functions within text functions. In this way, we can extract for a full name. Let's say we will learn how to extract the part of a text from a cell, up to a character or after that character. A very useful function. It's a combination of some functions, let's say. And then we will learn how to format an entire row based on a cell value. Also, this option will bring us many advantages, starting with more readable tables. In terms of colors, in terms of format, you can bold it, you can change the color. It depends on the value. Then, the last video, our Section 7, will be a complete task regarding an invoice template. So we will create from zero an invoice template in Excel with our functions that we learned in the previous sections. So these are the main sections. Then the last section, we will make a summary course by seeing how we went on each section. Thank you for watching, and I hope you will enjoy this course. See you in the next video. Hi. In this video, we'll talk about me. So I am Mihai. I am with Mammoth Interactive, and together we will learn these mastery functions on Excel. I started working with Excel in 2007 in a 2003 Excel version, and I started with some basic functions and text, and also using some, let's say, basic formats. And then I have learned many develop methods in Excel, and I was in a continuing learning process. And until 2010, I already started to use some complex and combine functions, and also to edit some VBA scripts. In 2003, Excel has only roughly 65,000 rows, and in 2010, already a bigger number of rows, so greater than 1 million. So Excel is in a continuous improvement. Now, in 2016, the most useful version of Excel, it's also different from 2010 and 2013 versions because we have many functions and very different ways of resolving, let's say, complicated databases. So it's very important that we will have those 6 sections. So main sections where we will learn logic and lookup functions, or math and finance functions. I am also a finance man, so I will show you some of the finance functions. And it's important to know that Excel can bring you a big value in your day-by-day tasks, and if you know how to use it. So it's important to never stop learning about new things, because Excel contains many, many options, many other functions that can be useful, and you never know when you need it. So thank you for watching, and I hope this course will help you develop a lot in Excel and will be useful for you and will use for daily tasks, or let's say to create a database or list that you will use for your work. See you in the next video, where we will talk about many requirements and experience linked to our Excel Mastery Function course. Head on over there. Hi. In this video, we'll see the course requirements for Excel training. So, starting with the operating system, let's say Windows 10, it's recommended, but it can also be used on Mac versions. I recommend to use a faster processor of minimum 1 gigahertz, because when you use Excel, it's important to move fast to avoid blocking, let's say loading. If you work with bigger databases or tables, charts or pivot tables, it's important to have also a random access memory of minimum 1 gigabytes, especially for the version of Windows of 32-bit, or at least 2 gigabytes for a version on 64-bit. And then, in terms of free space, you need at least 16 gigabytes on your hard drive. So it's important to have enough space for Excel to organize in order to give it the maximum efficiency. It's also important for Microsoft DirectX 9 to give your device the possibility to be faster and access the main functions. Then it's important to have a Microsoft account, because in the next video we'll talk in details about the possibilities to create a Microsoft account or to buy Excel versions. Then, in terms of internet connection, it's important to have internet access because after you have installed Excel, let's say, the version that you will choose and which will be the most suitable for you, Excel can offer you some templates, so it's important to have an internet access and stay connected to all the updates. So it's important to know that Excel can be installed on any device, even if it's a smartphone, or if it's a laptop, or any other device that has an operating system. Maybe the most useful is to have Windows in terms of version of Excel 2016, 2013, but as we talked earlier, the oldest version of Excel is not recommended because Excel always improves functions and options, and it's important to stay up to date and use the last version of Excel. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll see how to get Excel from the internet or where you can buy it in order to use the best suitable version for your needs. Head on over there. Hi. In this video, we'll see how to get Excel. And for this, we already talked about course requirements, where we have, let's say, what we need in terms of minimum hardware and also in terms of skills. You don't need to be more advanced, or it's important to at least to know to open the Excel files and put some text there, create a mini table, and then we will learn together how to develop. Now we will talk about how to buy Excel, or the versions of Excel, and some recommendations. In this moment, we will talk about two options, which I think are the most important on the market. So mainly it's for sure to go to the Microsoft Store. It depends on your device because, as you already know, you can buy for smartphones, for laptops, or for desktops, and also for other devices. My recommendation is linked to some versions of actual Excel, and Excel is part of an Office package. There are also Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and OneNote, which will complete the full package. So in terms of difference between them, Office is a standalone version where you will pay a single time. You'll pay a one-time cost. You have a one-time cost. And for example, it's a home version or a startup version where you get Office apps, Excel, Word, and PowerPoint, which we talked about earlier. And then the other way is to pay a monthly fee in the Microsoft 365 subscription. So here you will pay once, and here you will pay a monthly fee. So this is the main and the first difference. This will contain apps like Excel, Word, PowerPoint, and here you will get the latest version of Office apps and also Outlook, which is the software for emails. And you will always get the latest features. Let's say that Excel will have new tools or security updates. And also there is continuous bug fixes that Microsoft can offer in the subscription method. And some users can also, on the PC, access in Publisher, which will be the other part of Microsoft package Access. Maybe you've heard about Access. It's linked to database inquiries. Then let's say that in terms of security for the standalone version, the pay once version, we have no updates for security. Comparing with the Microsoft 365 subscription, where we'll have always the improving version of security. So let's say security updates, and here we have no security updates. But out of all of these options I just presented to you, you will try to use the most suitable for you. In terms of installation, for the first version, one-time purchase can be installed only once on either a PC or Mac. In the other version of Microsoft 365, you can install on all of your devices and sign in to 5 at the same time. So you can use Office for every device, no matter where you are. So this includes PC, Macs, tablets, or smartphones. And also, it's important to know that in this version, you can share your subscription with up to 5 other people. So you have share and no share, and also many devices. Let's say 1 device, and here many devices. Then you can install all of the apps for free. You don't have to get some extra features when you sign in your Office apps for the second version. So apps, and here, no apps. So you can not install the apps for free. If you want to use, let's say, a cloud or online space in the first version, you'll not have this possibility. So let's say no space online, no online or cloud. And here you can install, or you can securely store your files in the cloud. So I think you have roughly 1 terabyte, so a very big space. And also you can use per user this space. So you can use up to 6 user devices, including the main one. And this is the name of the Microsoft family. And in terms of technical support, also in the subscription version, you can contact for your account for your subscription, and here you don't have, so no technical support. And here you have technical support. Now, I hope that you will choose the best version for your needs, and we can also save it. The main difference is that probably You will try to find out on the market some free versions, but it's important to know that you will not have all the options and all the functions that are available. And I'm sure you'll find a way to choose all the family or the student or home version, even if it's once pay, or you can pay monthly fees as you wish. And it's very important to know, as I told you earlier, Excel can be used on any device. So, thank you for watching. I hope you enjoy this, and let's start with section 2, where we will learn the first function. So it's the if function in the first video from our next section. Thank you, enjoy, and we'll see you on section 2. Create an if function. Head on over there. Hi, here's Mihai, and I'm going to show you what we learned in this section. First, we're going to use the if function in a product list to choose a depreciation or inventory list. Then we'll go to and or functions within a reference function where we have many types of cars and different options. Also, we will learn how to work with choose, Vlookup, index, and match formulas in the table, containing the different color and types of cars. And then we will finish this section with a Vlookup function creation. So we have a list of some cars, and we want to bring the color from another source. So this is section 2, and in the next video we'll start with the if function. Head on over there. Hi, today we learn about the if function. We'll consider that we are a company who just bought 6 products, and the accounting team will split these products into 2 categories. If the price is greater than 500, the product will enter the depreciation process. If the price is less than 500, then the product will be a simple inventory item. So for this, we're going to use the if function. In column D, we'll write accounting, and then we'll start to write the function. If function contains 3 arguments. The first argument is the criteria that we are looking for to split the products between our categories, in our case. So the logical test will be if the price is greater than 500, we want to have in column D2 the word depreciation. If not, we want to have the words inventory list. We close the brackets and hit enter. And as you can see, if we double click on the bottom right of the cell, the formula will copy near other products. So the if function helps us to simply categorize our products based on the price. So if their price is greater than 500 in the column D, we'll have the word depreciation. And if the product price is less than 500, we'll have inventory list. So, to summarize, we have 3 arguments. The first one is the logical test that we want to split into 2 categories. Then, the second argument basically represents the true value of our criteria. And the third arguments represent the false version of our criteria. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll learn about and/or functions within reference functions. Head on over there. Hi. In this video, we'll learn about and function and or functions. We have a table with some cars, and each car has many options like type, cylindrical capacity, fuel, color, and price. And we want to sell these cars to some customers. We have customer number 1 and customer number 2. Customer number 1 wants a car with 2 options. Price less than $15,000 and type C. For this, we'll use an if function with an and function within our formula. Customer 2 wants a diesel car or a cylindrical capacity greater than 1.6. And for this, we're going to use the or function. So customer 1 will use and function, and customer 2 will use the or function. Both of them within our if function. We'll start with customer 1 and write equal if, press tab to open the brackets, and then we must write the first argument of our if function. As I said, customer 1 wants a car with 2 options. Price to be less than $15,000 and type to be C. For this, we're going to write both options in our first argument from the if formula. So, and, press tab, and now you're going to write the options. E2, meaning the price to be less than $15,000, and A2, meaning car type to be equal with C. Then we close the brackets and write the second argument of our if function. As you already know, the if function contains 3 arguments. The first one, the expression with the logical test that we already wrote. And then the second argument and the third argument are linked to the true or false of our expression. So the second argument will be yes if our options are fulfilled. And the third argument will be no if at least one of our options from the first argument are not fulfilled. If you copy the formula, you will see that for customer 1, we have only one option. Because, for example, even if this car is type C, one of our options wasn't fulfilled because the price is greater than 15,000. Now we're going to start writing in the formula for customer 2 who wants a car that is with diesel fuel or a car with a cylindrical capacity greater than 1.6. And for this, we'll use the same if function combined with the or function. Open the brackets, select our options, and these are cylindrical capacity greater than 1.6. So B2 greater than 1.6, or the fuel, diesel. So C2 equals diesel. So now we close the brackets, write the second argument of our if formula. Like we did with the first customer, we have yes, and in this case, we're going to obtain yes if at least one of our options will be true. And the third argument will be no, only if none of our options is true. So now, as you see, we have many options for our customer 2 because we have here diesel. Here we have diesel and also greater than 1.6. And here we have 1.6, which is not true. But we have diesel, which is true. So these are our options for our customers. Thank you for watching, and in the next video, we'll learn about the Vlookup function. Head on over there. Hi. In this video, we'll see how to work with reference functions. The first function is choose. We have a table with 5 types of cars, the color code, the color, and number of doors. In column G, we will use the choose function to bring the color based on the color code. And for this, we will define some values. So choose, press tab, open the bracket. The index number will be, in fact, our color code. And then we will start to define the values. All of the values should be under code. So value 1, let's say, is white. Value 2 will be black. Value 3 will be red. End quote. And then value 4 will be blue. Now we will close the brackets and hit enter. So as you can see, the function selected for this row based on color code 4 because we defined on the 4 value blue. If we copy the formula, we'll have the color brought to our column. So choose function is a function that gets a value from a list based on position, and we define these positions. The Vlookup function is roughly the same thing, but it uses another source. For example, to bring the color based on this code, we will use the second sheet. So Vlookup, color code, and then we will bring the second column, and we'll obtain the same result as choose function. On the index function, we'll get the value in the list or table based on location. That means, for example, index, I want to select the range, and this is my range. So from A2 to D6, row number will be, let's say, we are looking at type C, so we have row number 3 and column number 4, because I want to find the number of doors for type C. I will close the brackets, hit enter, and this is the number brought by the formula. So index each time will bring the value that we give in terms of rows and columns. Pay attention that the rows are basically starting with the second row, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 until the 6th row, and also for columns. We have 4 columns. The first one, this time it's A, so we took from this range row 3 and column 4, and we obtained 5 doors for type C. If we copy the formula, we'll obtain the same thing, but the index will be different. You see that Excel changed our row based on range. The match function will show me the number of type from our list. In fact, it's the position of an item in an array. For example, we want to see match. Press tab. The number of position for type D. And then we select the array because it's here. The same, we'll start with number 1 from the second row, not from the title. We'll close the brackets and hit enter, and we find out that 4 is the position for type D in our array. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll see how to create a Vlookup function in detail. Head on over there. Hi. In this video, we'll see how to use the Vlookup function. For this, we have a table containing 6 types of cars with each options. In column F, we want to bring the color code based on the column where we have the color. If we do it manually, we would have to look at white and go in our source and copy and paste here. But the Vlookup function will help us to do it automatically. So write Vlookup, press tab, select the lookup value. In our case is the color, so D2. The second argument should contain the source table from where we want to bring the code. So I will select all of the columns, and then the third argument will be the number of columns that I want to bring in my table. In our case, will be 3 because we have the code in column C. And the last argument can be true or false, meaning 1 for an approximate match and 0 for an exact match. So we will use false, which means 0, because we want to bring us the exact match. So close the brackets, hit enter, and as you can see, we have the color code in column F based on our lookup value from column D. It's important to know that in order for VLOOKUP to give us great results, always have the first column as the lookup value. So in our case, we have the color on column A, but if color was here, we should select the VLOOKUP source from B to C, and the column index number should be 2. Let's make it here, because as you can see, we already have an error. So we'll write it again. VLOOKUP D2 for lookup value, and this time I will select the source. Always start with our lookup value column. So from B to C, the column index number will be 2. And again, I want an exact match, so 0. Close the brackets, hit enter, and we have again the correct codes. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll see the Excel math and finance functions projects. Head on over there. Hi. In this video, we'll make a summary for section 2, Excel logic and lookup functions projects. So we started with the if function, which is one of the most important functions which we can find in Excel. In our sample, we had some product from high-tech categories, and our accounting department requested to split these products between 2 categories depending on price. So we used if the price is greater than 500, then the accounting department requested us to mention the depreciation word. If price is less than 500 or equal, in our case, the accounting department requested us to mention inventory list. So this is what the if function does, and it's a very important function. If function contains 3 arguments. The first one is the logical test, where we put the criteria, and then we have the value if our criteria is true, and the third one is the value if the criteria from our logical test are false. So 3 arguments for the if function, and a very, very important target function in our training. Then we learned about and or functions within reference functions. So we had some car types and different options of our cars, and two potential customers with different requests. The first customer, for him, it was important to have the price to be less than 50,000, but also to have a C-type car. So we use the AND function within the if function. So this time we had two criterias that were important to obtain the true argument. So AND function will analyze both of our conditions, and if one of them will be false, then the function will return no, because we put no in our value if false. If one of the logical tests is true, we also obtain false because the AND function wants all the logical arguments to be true. This is the difference between and OR functions, because the OR function, like we did on the sample regarding customer 2, the OR function needs at least one argument from our OR function to be true. So even the fuel to be diesel, or the cylindrical capacity to be greater than 1.6. That's why we obtain true, because at least one of these was true. As you can see, here we obtained false because none of our arguments was true. Then, in the third video, we saw how to work with choose, Vlookup, index, and match functions based on some car types and color codes. The choose function gave us the value or action to perform as Excel explained to us, and we put 4 values because we had 4 values of color in the index number that specifies which value of argument is selected. Then we made a fast Vlookup function to bring values from another sheet. In our case, to bring color from the sheet colors. Then we played with index function, which is also a very nice function that gave us the array, row number, and column number. Then the match function that we also use to play with the lookup value and lookup array. In our case, we put what, as the function has explained to us, the relative position of an item. So our position for our D type was 4. So, the last video from section 2 was how to create a Vlookup function, because also the Vlookup function is a very often used function. With Vlookup, you can earn many hours of work by simply bringing in your table what kind of information you need from another table. And we play with also card types, and we need the color or code from the other table. So VLOOKUP contains 4 arguments. The first one, it's a lookup value. In our case, it was the color, then the table array. It's the table from where you want to bring the value. The third one, it's column index number. That means in our case, we had 3 columns, and we want to bring column 3, named code. And the last argument, it's the range lookup. We have 2 possibilities, false, so 0, if we want to bring the exact match for white, or 1 if you want to bring the approximate match. But this type of VLOOKUP with an approximate value is not so often. So I recommend to use, when you want to bring the exact value, I recommend to use the false argument on the range lookup. So this was section 2. See you on the next section. Excel, Math, and Finance Functions projects. Head on over there.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this course. If you want to watch the rest of the course, the link is down below. Not only do we get the access to this course, but you'll get access to a lot of other courses in a huge bundle, and it's on sale today. So buy before the sale ends. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.